watching BattleCast Primetime. New CNC action, Command & Conquer 4 is headed to a platform near you. Sam Bass is in the studio once again. What can he tell us about the return to the Tiberium universe? The fan art is in and the guest host has arrived. Who could it possibly be? A sweet salute to Tiberium in the BattleCast 10 and a best of the best main event brawl as BattleCast Primetime version 2.0 starts now. You're logged in to BattleCast Primetime. I'm Raj Joshi. The moment is finally here to kick off our new season of BattleCast Primetime. We've received the fan art submissions and here's your winner. Pencilless Artist sent us this submission. I think Joe Kucan should be a co-host because if CNC4 is the last time we see Joe play Kane, at least give him the honors of being the co-host. See more of Pencilless Artist at comradeartistofnod.deviantart.com. Well, as our winner, you'll be getting a nice batch of BCPT swag that they've been hiding from me. And you get the honor of being correct. Thanks to you, I have alongside me as my co-commander, none other than the Command & Conquer arch-villain Kane, actor Joe Kucan.
Raj,
Joe, put her there.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me here.
Welcome. It is
truly
an honor.
a pleasure. Yes, I know it is.
Now, as an honorary member of the Brotherhood,
Yeah.
I felt it was my duty, David only brought you on as a guest, and I felt in your infinite wisdom, you are worth so much more.
Well, you're absolutely right about that, Raj. Thank you for being so on the ball. But first, before we get to the witty banter, I want to thank you, Pencilless Artist, for bringing me here. And as for our Twitter fan contest, we want to say congratulations to ASR Online for his comments and for actively following us on Twitter. Thanks. You're going to be getting some cool tech stuff from our sponsors as well.
I'd say it's an honor to have you here, but you're clearly trying to steal my job from me, huh?
Well, I could have it if I want it. I just don't want it.
Speaking of wanting things, anything
Yeah.
I can get you? Maybe some iced tea, pomegranate juice?
No, well, do you have the fresh sweat of a virgin, maybe?
No. Perhaps it's time to give back.
Yeah.
Perhaps you brought us a gift, maybe.
No, I brought nothing at all. All right, just kidding. You might be in luck. That's right. It's official, kids. Command & Conquer is back in a big way. The fourth and apparently final chapter to close out the Tiberium storyline is underway now, even as we speak. I'll let you in on a little bit of the action. Story picks up 15 years after Tiberium Wars. The Earth is covered with Tiberium. The entire fate of the human race is uncertain. Time is just right for the dramatic entrance, the exciting reemergence of Kane. That's right, Kane.
Sweet!
Dramatic pause.
That's awesome.
Dramatic pause. Yeah. Kane is back. I'm back, and his first act when he reemerges is to head straight for GDI headquarters.
Oh, come on!
That's
You can't
true.
stop there. Come on, at least let's get to my present.
Look, why don't we just take a look at the official Command & Conquer 4 announcement trailer, huh?
Brothers, sisters, I have a proposition.
Nice! We are also proud to announce that EA will be debuting Command & Conquer 4 gameplay at this year's Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. For more on that and the rest of the CommandCon, here's Aaron Apoc Kaufman with a brief update. Aaron, couldn't hold your excitement, huh?
Damn straight, Raj. You know I'm freaking excited about this. Ladies and gentlemen, CommandCon being hosted at the Gamescom convention in Cologne, Germany, August 21st to 22nd, has been in the making for quite a long time. This epic fan event is going to play host to our United Nations of Community Leaders for Command & Conquer, 100 to be exact. This will be the first location that anybody outside this studio gets to play CNC4. And it's going to be a showstopper of event, as the legend himself, Joe Kucan, will also be making an appearance. And it's also going to be the site of our grand epic finale championship for Ladder Season 3. Now, there's not a whole lot more I can go into detail right now about CommandCon, but what I can tell you is that there's going to be an exclusive website later in August where you'll get all your news, and everybody who's coming to CommandCon is going to be blogging about their experience there. So you'll get first-hand opinions, first-hand gameplay accounts on everything and anything Command & Conquer 4. This is a truly special event in the making, and for everybody that's coming, we're looking forward to seeing you.
Thanks, Aaron. Looking forward to what's shaping up to be a huge Command & Conquer event. And we've got a couple of those coming up right now. In honor of Joe's appearance, well, clearly not his appearance, but in honor of his presence, we put together a special 10 this month.
I didn't bring you any presents. What are you talking about?
Joe, would you like to do the honors for us?
Absolutely. I didn't bring you any presents. In honor of my presents, guys, 5 of the absolute best Tiberium Wars matches, plus 5 of the top Kane's Wrath matches of all time. We've got them for you right now. Presenting game replays, top 5 matches for each game. You know, I've wanted to say this since the very first broadcast of BattleCast Primetime. It's time for the BattleCast 10.
Starting in CNC3, it's Body versus Pillbots on Tournament Arena. Each player builds up their base and secures their respective Tiberium expansions, putting those resources to work and clashing in the center of the map with a classic tank spam. It's clear-cut draw, but wait! Pillbot uses his enemy's weakened state to drop a regiment of zone troopers right at Body's back door. The Brotherhood scrambled to contain the damage, but now they've got mammoth tanks at their front. The only play left for Body to do is to take the fight to his enemy's base, which he does with wave after wave of tank spam. And though he's overpowered on the ground, he uses the extra time to get 8 Venoms in the air. With no air defense to speak of, Pillbots watches an impressive offense shattered by hard counters and cedes the game to Body. In Kane's Wrath, we've got IMFTW Noob versus Himura number 9 in a Nod sub-faction showdown. In this match, the Avatar is a unit to watch. Himura sends flame tanks early, but Noob's Avatar takes it down and steals its flame tank. Then, with the help of some base defenses, the single Avatar destroys an entire Scorpion spam, leveling up to heroic status in no time. Armed with a hot blue veteran laser and a tank full of fire, this single Avatar takes a fight to his enemy and single-handedly holds the center of the map. Himura tries to hit again, but he's already overplayed his hand. This one goes to the Noob for some insanely impressive micro. Scorpion takes on Banger in a Scrin Mirror on Tournament Rift. Setting up Foundries, my favorite! To build up their home bases, both players move to the central field. At the same time, it's a battle for the front as each player lays down buzzer hives to claim the area. But it's Scorpion who plays a smarter game. See, he's built 4 drone platforms, increasing his build queue exponentially, and he can outbuild his opponent on structures around the tip field, even as he expands to the south uncontested. Smart game or not, he's outnumbered on the ground at the central field, and eventually falls to Disintegrators and Seekers. Those Seekers then scout the map, systematically crushing each of Scorpion's drone platforms. Does the orange player have any defense? Yes! Hiding at his base, a swarm of tripods also scour the map and begin obliterating Banger's undefended base. It's a race to the finish. Who can destroy their opponent's base faster? Well, Scorpion's got one last drone platform hidden in the corner of the map, and Banger can't blow up a structure he can't find. Scorpion takes this match with barely any base left to him, showing the power of an innovative strategy to come back from the jaws of defeat. It's Unleashed versus Insomnia on Tournament Decision. And this one is all about the finish. As each player slams the other with traditional tank and APC spams, Unleashed is readying his trump card, a mothership. But just before the beast is done building, Insomnia sneaks a lone APC right into the back of Unleashed's base. What's his plan? Capture the construction site with the engineer inside. Moments later, a fully operational mothership deploys over Unleashed base, but it's controlled by Insomnia. Boom, boom, baby! Unleashed's entire base is gone in seconds, and Insomnia takes this win without having to risk a single GDI combat unit. Sneaky! Apollo is back to lead the scrin against Crash Brains, GDI on Tournament Arena. Early clashes favor Crash Brain as he rushes a war factory and a line of Predator tanks to Apollo's southern expansion, takes that area, and then eliminates Apollo's entire starting base. But the scrin have moved on, setting up on Crash Brain's side of the map. The Predators are quickly overwhelmed by a Scrin Devourer tank force, and though the GDI base defenses prevent the tanks from moving south and destroying the rest of Brain's base, Apollo defends himself long enough to launch Storm Riders. The map is now his to control, and control it he does. Brain doesn't even wait around to watch his many scattered buildings go up in smoke. Apollo for the win! Aeonian and Jigsaw slug it out for control on Small Town USA. Aeonian leads with what is now a classic scrin opening move. Devourer tanks backed and healed by Corruptors, and cleans out Jigsaw's entire starting base in minutes. But Jigsaw's already moved south, and he's got a war factory pumping out APCs. The Scrin strike force is dropped, giving Jigsaw plenty of time to get more tanks on the map. Aeonian sticks with his Devourers and Corruptors, but Jigsaw has passed him in numbers and firepower. When the two meet in battle, Aeonian must be cursing himself for letting his enemy escape the early rush, because he's not prepared to defend against the mid-game. This one's a win for Jigsaw. Body returns to Tiberium Wars to duke it out with 4 times Dot Sharp on Tournament Arena. Hold on to your hats, this one gets explosive fast. Seekers and Scorpions clash at Sharp's base, and Sharp takes the first wave in stride. But a second wave is just behind, expertly microing in and out of Sharp's base to pick off defensive before regrouping for a full strike. And strike they do, backed by Venoms, and those tripods go down in smoke. But now both players have air forces, and Storm Riders put an end to Body's third tank rush. Unable to win with numbers on the ground, Body decides to blot out the sun with his Venoms, picking off opposition with Vertigo bombers. But when the forces clash again, those Venoms fall to the earth, and both players retreat back to their bases to ready for the next assault. What's Body's next move? A two-pronged assault from north and south, of course. Tanks from the bottom and air from the top. But Body's lucky break comes when he stumbles on Sharp's drone platform at the top of the map, taking it out and preventing Sharp from rebuilding his base. Now Body's hit-and-run strikes are doing real damage. But to get the win, he's gonna have to get past those tripods. And he can't do it. Sharp finally takes the fight to Body and owns his entire force with a few tripods and warships, showing the power of a quick tech-up and a focus on efficiency. It's Unleashed and Tante Renate in this intense battle on Tournament Rift. Renate's Black Hand moves quickly to the central field and locks down the line with a dozen Shredder turrets. How can Unleashed break the line? With firepower and patience, of course. He sends an early game Eradicator Hexapod backed by healing Corruptors to take the brunt of the fire while eliminating each turret. The Hexapod takes no damage at all because of the Corruptors, and soon Renate's line is decimated, and the Black Hand is on the retreat. But not for long. Anticipating the fight, Renate's got a massive spam of Scorpion tanks ready to take out the Hexapod. But with barely any structures left, Renate has little time to get his force across the map and end this beast. By the time he's taken out Unleashed starting base, he's got only one power plant left. Who will destroy the last structure? It's Unleashed for the win as he captures Renate's last power plant just moments before the defeat, ending this heart-stopping match with a surprise finish. And in GameReplay.org's top-rated CNC3 match, we bring you Titus versus Kung Fu Rabbit for control of Tournament Tower. And if you think you've seen good micro with Noob's avatar, you ain't seen nothing yet. Kung Fu strikes early with flame tanks and decimates Titus in the early game, forcing him to push out predators. He follows up that strike with a switch-up. It's stealth tank time! But as he takes out what's left of Titus's starting base, his own Conyard goes up in smoke under a predator assault. Rabbit wrenches back and saves what little he can, but he's only got one stealth tank left and no way to build more. In fact, with only a power plant left, he can't build anything. All he's got is a stealth tank, a heroic stealth tank that is, and he uses it to insane effect. One by one, every unit and structure on the board falls to Rabbit's heroic stealth tank, which manages to defend his lone structure long enough to take the fight to the enemy and end the match. This is the best micro we have ever seen, and rightfully deserves its place at the top of the list for CNC3. Finally, the #1 rated Kane's Wrath match from GameReplays.org. Vadi versus Best Friend Ever for Tournament Dust Bowl. Best Friend looks to have the advantage with some early Scorpion tanks, but it's an even match soon enough. Best Friend walks away with an early win, but he should really watch his back. Vadi's got avatars on the map. Backed by some Enlightened, they make easy work of Best Friend's unprotected base. Where are all those Scorpions? At Vadi's base, killing his dudes! To make matters worse, the battle at Best Friend's eastern base is a bloodbath, and Vadi loses his avatars to a Redeemer. What's a Vadi to do? Get his own Redeemer on the map! It's an epic unit stalemate until Best Friend breaks through with some stealthy attack bikes, wearing down the #2 seed until he just can't stand anymore. Add to that Best Friend's powerful follow-up force, and you can call this one a win for the underdog. And that's your 10 for this month.
The 10, brought to you by Logitech, makers of the customizable G9X laser mouse.
That was great. Awesome. Those are classic matches from the best fan base in the business. It's good to see the Tiberium universe back in action again. We'll be back with more after the break. Don't go away.
Welcome back to BattleCast Primetime. I'm Raj Joshi, alongside world-famous Joe Kucan. Let's make it a party and get Aaron Apoc Kaufman in on the action with Apoc's Corner. Welcome back, Aaron.
What's up, all you Command & Conquerors? This is Aaron Apoc Kaufman, your official CNC community manager. Now, I don't want to waste any time here. Let's get right to the news. For the first time in CNC history, Commanders, we're letting you name the subtitle for Command & Conquer 4 with our Name the Game contest. Now, it's been ongoing for about a week now, and we've got a few pretty cool frontrunners: Tiberian Twilight, Tiberian Dusk, and even Raj's Land of Pink Pony Specialists. I wonder who submitted that one. Well, listen up. You got to hit up commandandconquer.com because this contest is ending soon. We want all your subtitle names. Get over there right now. Now, if you're like me and millions of other people around the world, you've probably got a profile on Facebook. Well, Commanders, I'm excited to let you know that we've established facebook.com/commandandconquer. You need to head over there right now and become a fan to interact with over 5,000 CNC fans worldwide. This is your home, Commanders, to develop a true Facebook community for Command & Conquer. We want all your photos, your comments, your artwork, everything you've got. Lay it on us at facebook.com/commandandconquer. Become a fan, leave your opinion, and we're looking forward to seeing you there. If you've been running around offline with a seriously overpowered assault destroyer, well, it's probably because you didn't upgrade to patch 1.12. You got to get this hot fix for Red Alert 3 right now. All you got to do, log online, update, that's it. Your assault destroyer will be fixed, and everyone will be happy. Now, our teaser site for Command & Conquer 4 may look a little bit like Area 51 at the moment, but I promise you, Commanders, it's not because we're trying to hide any secrets on purpose. Well, maybe a few. But don't worry, Commanders, because later next month, our website for Command & Conquer 4 is going to transform before your very eyes. So keep checking commandandconquer.com. Later this August, the new site will be appearing very soon. Well, let's now take a look at some of my favorite things going on in the Command & Conquer community in my mod and map spotlight. First up, I'd like to give a special shout out to Tiberian Sun Rising, an exciting mod for Command & Conquer 3. This mod aims to bring back GDI and Nod in the Second Tiberium War and retell Tiberian Sun like never before. These guys are aiming to take the infamous Westwood game and bring a lot of new fun and original concepts, such as growing Tiberium, random units, deployable units, subterranean units, and more units, and a firestorm wall of defense. How about that, guys? All brought to life on the powerful CNC3 game engine. In their latest update, they show off their GDI Peacekeepers, the triple-barreled 120mm cannon of the Juggernaut, and the new GDI component tower defense system. For all the latest on Tiberian Sun Rising, hit up rising.cnc-source.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard of this mod. It's called Renegade X, and they are dedicated to bringing back CNC Renegade on the Unreal Engine 3. And man, are they going to make Havoc proud. You'll have to once again work with your team of GDI and NOD soldiers to take down your opponent's base, and not just with mindless killing, but strategic C4 tactics and a lot of freaking ammo. They'll also be adding new gameplay modes, built-in voice communication, remaking the original standard maps on next-gen format, and so much more. So for more information on this exciting mod for Renegade, hit up renegade-x.com. For my last call, I'd like to present to you one of the best, one of the brightest, one of the oldest CNC fan sites in the history of Command & Conquer. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you CNCSaga.com. Administered by the legendary Tooch and his legion of admins, CNCSaga.com is one of the best places to get all your Command & Conquer news if you haven't hit up CommandandConquer.com. And let me tell you folks, even though it's mostly in French, it's still a great place to go. These guys have all the news, all the media, everything you could possibly imagine about CNC. They've even got their own BattleCast Primetime show called BattleCast Primetime France. And one of my favorite things, they have a page dedicated to every actor who's ever played a role in Command & Conquer. So folks, CNCSaga.com, hit up this site. It's an amazing place, and give them a little love. That's all from me in the corner, and my mystery bodyguard back here. Back to you, Raj and Joe.
Thanks, Aaron. Last episode, we saw competitors A. Molly and A. Dwelf battle it out in the main event.
And here to break down the action, we're bringing in Professor Greg Kucan with a postmortem. Hey, Greg, take us to command school.
Welcome to Command School. I'm Greg Kucan. Today we'll be going into last month's main event between Molly and Dwelf. If you recall, I bet on Molly, and maybe I shouldn't be so quick to bet on the underdog next time. I expected him to pull off some of his patented dirty tricks to disrupt his opponent's plans, but Dwelf presented his enemy with very few such opportunities while quietly expanding around the map and building up just enough forces to overwhelm Molly in the shortest time possible. In the early stages, the two players held their own, mirroring one another's actions and doing an effective job of walling up and scouting. However, Dwelf got his second refinery up sooner, and later on he expanded out to the water, and it's this type of focus on the macroeconomic game that ultimately gave him the upper hand against his opponent. What can we learn from Molly's crushing defeat? First of all, when playing against the Allies, you have to keep your eyes on the skies. At one point, Molly almost caused some serious damage with transported javelins, but Dwelf's Vindicator micro defeated that tactic and put Molly on the defensive. Still, Molly opted for armor divisions at this point instead of prepping to retaliate against an air force. If he had Apollos in the air, maybe he could have intercepted Dwelf's Tanya drop, which signaled Molly's demise. Second, don't wait around for your timing push. This isn't Kane's Wrath, and a couple of minutes can make a huge difference in a player's readiness to hard counter his foe. Molly led up on the scouting and let Dwelf's water expansion sit there for too long undeterred. He should have attacked earlier when he had tanks before his opponent, but since he waited just a couple of minutes too long, that let Dwelf hopscotch to Tech 3 and seal the deal. This was a textbook victory by Dwelf. Excellent work. That's all for this month's Command School. Back to you, Joe and Raj.
Thanks, Grade. I almost feel a presence, as if the mood in BCPT Studio has changed. That must signal the arrival of our guest, lead story designer Sam Bass.
Hello.
Hopefully
That's why the mood has changed. Because of the white, hot charisma of Sam Bass.
That's right. But hopefully with that
icy fingers of hip, cool Britishness has invaded the studio.
And
Pull it back, Sam. Reel it in, baby. Reel it in.
Baby. Hopefully that white, hot charisma, you also brought some insight with you into what Command & Conquer is really going to deliver to our fans. Welcome to our studio, Sam.
Come on, seriously, Sam. What can we give the fans?
What can we give the fans? Yeah, some stuff. Things.
Ooh,
Some
like
commanding, some conquering. You know how we do. You got any questions for me? I'm a busy man.
I certainly do. So, Sam, one of the favorite things for fans about Command & Conquer is obviously the story. So people are, of course, asking, where is the story headed? Never thought I would see Kane, yes, Kane, going to GDI with a proposition. What is that all about?
Well, really, what's happening with Command & Conquer 4 is that humanity has fallen on desperate times. Tiberium's out of control, our weak defenses against it are being overwhelmed, and for all intents and purposes, we're on the brink of extinction. And right then, right when we're at our worst, when we're going to die, Kane reappears, as he tends to do, and he comes to GDI with a proposition. He's like, you want to save the world? I got a plan. But you need to get with me to do that. We can't fight each other, we can't be at war. We have to work together to do this.
On the tech side of things, many fans are speculating about this new concept for Command & Conquer, like a new approach to base building, basically. So can you expand on what you said at GameSpot about this whole streamlining of the base building?
Well, yeah, we were looking to sort of streamline the base building experience, because what we find with a lot of our games is that after it's been out for a couple weeks, there is a perfect order to build your base in, and if you don't build your base in that order, you lose. And that becomes kind of a not so fun experience for our less hardcore players. So what we wanted to do was have all of the things that you do in base building tech buildings, building production structures. We wanted to roll that all into this crawler mechanic, which is a big sort of mobile robot base. You can build while you're moving, you deploy, the units come out, you buy your upgrades there, you buy your tech there, you build your units.
This is like a mobile con yard of sorts?
Yes, it is. It's very much a mobile con yard.
A lot of people have been playing CNC for a long time. What do you think this is going to do for the veterans of CNC? Are they going to be able to adapt? Is this going to be something that's of interest to them?
Well, we're hoping they can adapt, because a lot of the core of what makes CNC is still there. You still got tanks, you still got powers, you still got your ion cannon. You got all that stuff that you use. You build large groups of tanks, you go out, you kill the other guy's tanks, you insult his sexuality on the internet, you know, the usual CNC thing. But what we've streamlined some of the elements. What we've tried to do is, as I said, put back in other elements and really create. We've got this more of this class-based system, so you really have a variety of tactics that previously weren't accessible. You can really play defensively without just turtling up in your base. You can play support and help out the other players without just sort of hanging back and casting spells or casting powers.
So this is still RTS, right?
Damn right.
Okay, but I heard this crazy rumor going out there that we're talking about player progression that can affect the player in multiple modes of gameplay. What's going on with this? I mean, how is this adding to the already compelling CNC experience?
I have no idea what you're talking about. No, really. So, the progression thing is something we've really brought to the table here. It's something very new, very different for RTS play. And the idea was, you know, usually when you boot up an RTS game, you start playing skirmish or multiplayer or single player, you have like 15 different units, you have like 50 powers, not spells, upgrades, you know, all that kind of stuff. So what we thought we'd do is rather than just throwing a ton of stuff at you at once, we'd make more stuff, not less stuff. So we have tons of stuff. This game has more units and powers and upgrades than we've ever done before. But rather than having you start out with all of them, we have you start out with a good complement of basic stuff if you want to go online and kick ass. And every time you play, single player, multiplayer, skirmish, whatever, you earn experience. Experience goes towards leveling you up at the end of a match. Leveling you up allows you to purchase new units, new upgrades, new powers, new things that give you more options when you play. So, you know, yeah, you can still go out and build tons of tanks and flood your enemy's base, but suddenly you have a variety of ways. You got access to stealth stuff. You have different powers you can use. You can borrow. You can do all kinds of things. But rather than hitting you with that all at the beginning, we want you to earn it. We want you to sort of trickle it down. So by, you know, 5-10 hours into the game, you've got a really personalized, customized army you can take online and fight someone with completely different stuff and have a very unique experience.
So let's say you're an amazing player like myself and you're somewhat humble and you don't want to necessarily venture out in the online world and make people feel bad. You could play skirmish and kind of build yourself up?
Exactly. Everything's persistent across the game. So if you earn it in multiplayer, you can use it in single player. You earn it in co-op, you can use it in skirmish. It's all persistent across the game. So rather than having a sort of designer scripted trickle of units throughout the campaign, it's what you earn. That's what you use, that's what you play with. And you can really steer it towards supporting your style of play.
What does any of that have to do with me?
Well, one of the things you can earn is a commemorative Joe Kucan gold statue.
Can you just touch a little bit on upgrades for this game?
Yeah, well, we've got, it's a Command & Conquer game. There are always the upgrades. They turn your flames blue or give you some kind of Tiberium thing on the back that makes you more scary. But yeah, we have a ton of upgrades. That was one of the things we really dug down on, especially if you're playing our offensive class, which is primarily based around tanks and rude language. And so the goal is you
Sounds like
buy
I
your
found
tanks.
my place in the world finally. I know where I'm going in the game.
You're an offense class player, I could see that.
so.
So you can really work out how you want to spend your experience points to make it the faction that you want to play. Me, I'm not that fast an RTS player. I'm not one of those 120 click a minute kind of guys. I'm more like 3, and I don't actually know what a keyboard is, so I can't use hotkeys. But it means I tend to play a defensive class, and I buy the upgrades that make my units more devastating, more powerful. And
Is this a pattern for you?
Yes, I am a very, very insecure person. And I cry myself to sleep every night.
Oh, Sam.
But I need a hug. But so what I do is I try and buy the upgrades that support me not being faster, because I can't handle faster, I'll just freak out. Instead, they let me do more damage, or they let me be more accurate, or they let me bring some different tactics to the battlefield. Maybe I use stealth, or maybe I construct bunkers and buy upgrades for the bunkers. There's a lot of different things you can do. So it's really all about customization.
Any other secrets you'd like to divulge while you're still here?
We're delving pretty deep into the lore. We are. When I'm not designing games, I'm also the lore master for the CNC universe, which is such a silly job title. But when I put on my crown and I have my scepter of lore mastery, I delve deep into the canon, and we've been looking for a lot of things that sort of, with CNC3, we maybe didn't touch on as much as we should have, that in the interest of telling a sort of coherent story, we stayed back from. But now with CNC4, we figure people are pretty familiar with our universe. We can delve in a little deeper. We've got some really serious answers about who Kane is and what he's doing here.
Hard percentage. Of all the unanswered questions so far in the game, what's the percentage of questions you're actually going to answer now in this final installment?
I'd say, based on our current metrics, 42.5. So there'll still be some mystery out there.
Sure.
One of the things
Less than half, though? That seems daring.
Well, you know what? Our fan community is not vocal in any way. They're very calm, quiet people, so I'm sure they'll be fine. No, we're trying to answer a lot of the questions. We don't want to end with yet another sort of ambiguous fade to white as you raise an eyebrow at the camera. We wanted to end with an ambiguous fade to white followed by a list of text that explains everything about what went on. So that's sort of what we'll be doing. That's not true at all, please ignore.
Well, Sam, I don't want you guys to be late for your couples counseling session, so I'd like to thank you. It's always a pleasure having you here with us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And we'll be right back with Jeremy Fiesel in a kick-ass main event when BattleCast Primetime continues.
BattleCast Primetime is brought to you by AMD, manufacturers of the AMD Phenom 2 processors. The future is fusion. Cooler Master, expand your imagination. Kingston Technology, makers of HyperX gaming memory for the masses.